Rochelle, or as she preferred, Princess X, was a hopeless romantic. Okay, maybe hopeless was putting it mildly. This woman fell head over heels for any guy who so much as looked her way. A simple hello at the grocery store, instant crush, a friendly wave from the mailman, wedding bells in her head. It was exhausting just to witness, let alone be the object of her fleeting affections. But Rochelle lived in a world of her own creation, one where every glance was a love sonnet and every conversation a prelude to a passionate affair. In her mind, every man was a potential Prince Charming, just waiting for their princess. Our girl, Princess X, was not one to shy away from attention. In fact, she craved it. So naturally, she decided to take her romantic escapades to the internet. Her plan? Make a man jealous. The execution? A complete and utter disaster. She roped in some poor, unsuspecting soul to be her fake boyfriend for a series of YouTube videos. The goal was to make Jimmy jealous. However, life, as it often does, had other plans. Rochelle, true to form, fell for her fake beau. The confession video was painful to watch. The poor guy looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. He politely, albeit very quickly, rejected her advances. And of course, the internet exploded. Rochelle's attempt to manufacture drama backfired spectacularly, leaving her the laughingstock of the internet. Now, Rochelle was a woman of many claims. One of her favorites? Disability. She claimed she could barely walk, needed constant assistance and lived in chronic pain. Yet she'd been spotted by several people around town walking her imaginary dog. Strange, right? Then there were the pills. Rochelle loved her pain medication, maybe a little too much. She popped those things like candy and was always complaining about needing a refill. Whether she was actually in pain or just enjoyed the effects of the medication was anyone's guess. But one thing was certain, Rochelle was deeply entangled in a web of her own making, a web woven with both real and imagined ailments. Section 4. The Cat Lady of Apartment 2. Rochelle, despite her claims of being an independent woman, was heavily reliant on government assistance. She refused to work, citing her supposed disability. Her days were spent in her tiny apartment, surrounded by her other true loves, her cats. And when I say cats, I mean a lot of cats. We're talking double digits here. Her apartment was basically a feline sanctuary, with litter boxes overflowing and the smell of cat food permeating the hallway. It was quite the sight, and not a pleasant one. The stench alone could knock you off your feet. But Rochelle seemed oblivious, content to rule over her furry kingdom, while the government subsidized her lifestyle. Section 5. Super Jim and the Feline Fiasco. Even in Rochelle's world of delusion, there were brief glimmers of hope. For a while, she dated a perfectly nice man named Jim. He was a superhero in his own right, a patient soul who seemed to tolerate her quirks, including the infamous laugh. Yes, the laugh. It was a cross between a dying walrus and a rusty door hinge, capable of clearing a room in seconds. But Jim, bless his heart, seemed unfazed. That is, until he met the cats. It was too much, even for Super Jim. The sheer volume of cats, the smell, the hair. It was an assault on the senses. He tried, he really did. But in the end, even Jim had to admit defeat. He fled, never to be seen again. Section 6. Reality Bites. Princess X versus Rochelle. Rochelle, or Princess X as she preferred, lived in a world of her own making. She was the star of her own reality show. A tragicomedy of love, lies, and feline overpopulation. In her mind, she was a beautiful princess, deserving of love and admiration. The reality, however, was a little less glamorous. Rochelle was seen by most as well, a bit much. Her clothes were often mismatched, her hair a mess, and her makeup applied with a heavy hand. She was loud, obnoxious, and her hygiene was questionable at best. But here's the thing about Rochelle. She didn't care. She lived in her own world. A world where she was beautiful, desired, and, most importantly, loved. And in the end, maybe that's all that really mattered. Or was it?